And I guess the first one I'm going to start with after I mute my phone is going to be Hypnotic. And this one was kind of crazy because I did have high hopes for this when I saw this trailer. And this film is directed by Robert Rodriguez, and it's based on a screenplay by Robert Rodriguez and Max Borenstein. And the story goes as this. When a detective learns that his missing daughter and a string of high-profile bank robberies might be connected, he must go on a mind-bending journey to find his daughter and stop the secret government agency behind the madness. And this film stars, we got Ben Affleck, we got Alice Braga, we got William Fichtner, Hala Finley, Dio O'Kenny, J.D. Pardo, Jackie Earl Haley, and Jeff Fahey. These are our main cast members. There's a bunch of other people in this film. But overall, my impression of this, it was kind of in the middle, leaning more towards something that I really didn't have a lot of fun with. You know what I'm saying? It's not okay. It's not at the bottom of, bad films, but it's just enough over that 50% line where I would say it's kind of, leaning more toward negative. I will say this, man, as far as the setup goes, the thing that this reminded me of mostly is Firestarter from back in the day, in a kind of a way how these characters are able to manipulate people, because that's essentially what's going on. Hypnotic. So in the trailer, you'll see a scene or two where it shows this bad guy who's essentially pulled off a bank robbery by basically using hypnotic suggestions on these people. And somehow these people in this film, have, some of them have this type of ability. So when, Ben Affleck, we're introduced to him, and he's kind of a police officer, investigator, detective, and he has had his daughter disappear years ago. And through the course of investigating this bank robbery that happens in this film, it kind of opens up some clues that lead him to, trying to find out what happened to his daughter these many years ago. And but it's interesting when I say it reminds me of Firestarter, because remember the dad in Firestarter, he kind of had that ability to make people see things or make people do things. And so our bad guy in this is similar. And it leads to some interesting things, man. But then it's just a weird mashup. I think where this film suffers the most is the writing. We've got Affleck, who I generally like. Alice Braga is great. These are our main characters. And even our guy, what's his name? William Fichtner, man. He's good, man. He's one of these character actors. You see his face, you're going to know who I'm talking about. He shows up in some, he actually looks a little bit like Michael Bay.
He shows up in he's in Armageddon. He's the astronaut that has to get in Armageddon, and then he's in The Dark Knight. That's who they're robbing the bank from. That's the bank president in The Dark Knight. In the beginning of it.
He has a familiar face.
Yeah, you see him in all kind of films.
Yeah, I actually like him. When he pops up on the screen, he's usually enjoyable to watch.
Yeah,
and that's the thing, because everyone's doing a good job acting wise. I just think the script underserves them, and it's also a film with a lot of twists and turns, and which also I think exposes the weakness of the writing, because that's one thing that got real annoying with this film. At every twist and turn, one of the characters has to stop and tell the other character, but they're really telling us, the audience, why this happened and why that and this twist and why that thing is significant. And I'm like, dude, when done right, you don't have to have a lot of that. That stuff gets explained to us in the exposition, in the storytelling, man. So I think that's where this thing was a little weak to me. And by the end, I was like, man, I really it just kept unfolding. And it, like I said, the way they told it, by the end, it just made me not even care, or even the big reveals just didn't seem so big anymore, because I was just worn down by this pattern of explanation and so I think it had potential, but ultimately it kind of feels like maybe this was maybe maybe it should have been worked into like an episode or something, you know, maybe one of them shows like Fringe or something where they find, or X-Files, you know what I'm saying? This would be like a episode
okay.
With a bad guy of the week, you know, kind of thing, versus making this a full-length film. And that's the thing that gets me, because this doesn't feel like a Robert Rodriguez film at all, dude. Like there's maybe a couple of action moments, like maybe during that first initial bank heist, but other than that, I really, it doesn't feel like his film. Maybe the other writer had more influence on this than Robert Rodriguez did, but it just doesn't feel like one of his films, man. This feels like an obligation to a studio or something. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's part of a deal he's got with Focus Features, where they just no, that wasn't Focus Features. Where this says Ketchup Entertainment. Who's the people that put this out? There's a lot of production companies. Solstice Studios, Who's Grow Productions, Studio 8, Double R, which is Robert Rodriguez, and Ingenious Media. So I don't know, dude. This is just a weird mishmash of a film. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if it will find its audience or where it's going to be, but I don't know. I haven't seen.
I know you saw it. I know you saw this on a secret show, but I didn't even know when, like, the street date was for this.
Yeah, I'm about to look right now. I forgot to point that out too. So this was this past Monday's mystery movie at Regal. So they usually sell these tickets at a discount rate. I think they're thinking that, like, because you don't know what you're walking into, so maybe they feel like if we give it to it at a discount rate, maybe if it surprises the audience, or if it's something they wouldn't normally go see, they're not going to feel so bad if they don't like it, if it only costs $5. And for the most part, they've been nailing it. The last one I saw that was a mystery movie was Sisu, but this one, I don't know, it was kind of a miss. Okay. There are some reviews on it that I'm looking on the Rotten that they had a better time with it, but it's also one of the things where it's like, well, at least Affleck and Braga did a great job, you know. So you're not really complimenting the movie, you're complimenting a part of it. So we'll see. I think because also it's so early right now, we've only got I think 3 critic reviews up for it right now, because it doesn't come out officially until May 12th. So we got about a week and a half before this comes out.
Next week. Okay.
Yeah, May 12th. So well, yeah, that's it. so yeah, next week. My bad, my math is a little fuzzy on that, but yeah,